Hey everybody, it's the old sports editor Ronnie Gallagher, and we're here for another edition of the Sundrop pregame show. There's my Sundrop right there. And, you know, we picked West Rowan to come to in the first round, number one, because this is the first step to a third straight state championship. Not many teams can say that if your name's not Independence. And but we have four teams at home tonight. Carson's at home, North Rowan's at home, and Salisbury's also at home. But it was a little more intriguing out here because of the Harding Rams. Now, we all know that the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system was going to cut either Waddell or Harding, and they ended up cutting Waddell, but these kids did not know up until Tuesday whether this might be their last game ever. So we're going to go over and try to talk to some people from Harding and see how they feel about that, about having their school saved. And we're also going to talk to some West Rowan people. Scott Young, of course, he'll drink his Diet Sundrop. And, you know, they're undefeated. They've won 41 straight games, the nation's longest winning streak. So let's go out here and see what we can find. Hey, we're here with Harding coach Mark Sanders. Now, Mark, there's a question I want to ask you. I was watching the TV shows down there, and you didn't know whether it was Harding or Waddell was going to be cut. You know, I mean, what kind of stress were you going through the last few weeks?
I tell you what, it's unbelievable stress. You know, to think that your school is going to be closed up and you don't know what's going to happen next year. Not only for these kids, I mean, that's what it's about, but you don't know job security, things of that nature. It was very stressful. So it's a blessing to be here right now, though.
Well, I think that they made the decision on Tuesday. Where were you when you finally found out?
I was glued in front of the TV watching the whole thing right there.
I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, I personally myself, we used to go down and cover games at Harding when West Rowan was in that league, and it's such a great school and got a great history. And I was just saying, how could they possibly close this school? So I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
But what was it like for the players? What were you telling your players?
Well, you know, I told them just to be encouraged, that we didn't have any control over what was going on. To keep playing hardball, and no matter what happened, they'll be all right. We would make sure they would go to a good place, and you know, they actually handled it pretty well. I must admit, they handled it pretty good.
Now, you know, you come over here, I always like to kid the Charlotte coaches because they come from the city and they come up here in the woods. I say they like to play football in the woods up here. But you've seen film of West Rowan.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
Oh gosh, it's a great team. Great team. The word champion is, you know, of course it exudes this team here. Great athletes, well coached. They're not going to beat themselves. So it's a daunting task for us.
Yeah. Well, what do you tell your kids, you know, when you know you're not favored, of course, and what do you tell them?
Well, you tell them to come out and fight, because any given night, you never know what can happen. You can't turn the ball over, some of those, you know, fundamental things you can't do. But we have to come out and play ball. You don't want to give it away. So we just keep letting the guys know they need to fight hard.
You know, I know even in Charlotte, y'all must drink some Sundrop down there, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Drink some Sundrop.
Some good Sundrop here, man.
There's one more thing I want to ask you. Now, I see you've got an assistant, Jamel Cuthbertson.
Yes, sir.
A former Catawba running back. I think he broke a few records. Well, what's it like having a former star on the team?
It's great having him back. Of course, we call him Cut now. Coach Cut played for us at Harding, and he actually still holds the single-game rushing record at Harding. It's a valuable asset to have that guy come back and to really be a mentor to our running backs here. He's a great athlete. Actually, you know, I hope that he can get on the next level, because he's certainly worthy of it. So it's great to have him back right now as well.
I always joke with him. I say, now you're my size. You know, how to get all those yards?
You know, he has a knack for the game. You know, some kids just have a God-given ability, and Jamel is one of those kind of kids. He just has it, man, and you can't teach what he has.
Yeah, we're here with Scott Young, the head coach of West Rowan. You know, Scott, this has become a weekly thing, me and you coming out here. But you know, you've won 41 straight games, and you're starting your trek on a third straight state championship. How's the boys feel?
Well, I think they're just anxious to open the playoffs. You know, we came through the regular season with all our goals intact, but tonight is the second season. Tonight we're only guaranteed 48 more minutes, and hopefully our kids will respond.
You know, what do you think about Harding and the stress that they've had to go through, wondering whether they're going to have a team, a school?
Well, you got to feel for those young men. The first thing is it's a very athletic group. They've got great team speed, and they play in a pretty tough 3A, 4A league. So it is not an easy game as far as a 1 seed versus an 8 seed or a 16 seed, whatever you would project them. It's not usually like that tonight.
Yeah. You know, now in Rowan County, you know, we got 4 teams at home tonight. You know, Carson's home, Salisbury's home, North's home. Once again, another good year for Rowan County.
That's awesome. I mean, that just speaks volume of the football and the level of football we play in the county. You know, there have been times in the past where Rowan didn't win a conference championship, and now we've got 3 conference champions and a very good Carson team as well.
What do you think about the bracket that you're in, and you are the number 1 overall seed? How do you feel about it all?
Well, I'm glad we got the 1 seed. Last year we lost that coin flip. This year we won the coin flip, so that's a good thing. As long as we win and survive in advance, we'll have the rights to play at home.
So, and I'm predicting a victory tonight. So maybe we'll see the Falcons next week. Scott, good luck to you.
Thank you. We'd like to have you guys with us every week.
We'll be there. I think they're ready for some action.
All right, man, listen. I ain't got a whole lot for you, but I want to talk to you about a few things. I think the whole key to the night is to get a fast start. All right, I think that's a big key. And I think the biggest key of them all is to be very, very physical with them. I think you got to show them how violent we are. They are in Charlotte. They are down there with programs like Butler, programs like Mallard Creek that gets all the ink. They've heard about the Falcons, but they don't know about the Falcons. All right? They don't know about us yet. But guess what? In about 5 minutes, they're going to find out about the Falcons firsthand. And it's up to us to show them what we're all about. They need to go back to Charlotte and spread the word that the Falcons are the real deal. All right, they can talk about their tough league all they want, but it would be tougher if we were in it. Let's go show them.
Yes, sir. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Y'all Falcon Pride on 3. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Falcon Pride.
You know, folks, what Scott Young just told his players is true. Harding is going to be an emotional team. They're a talented team, and this is not a night to have a let-up. So we're expecting another big victory for West Rowan. We'll know in about 2 hours. So until then, drink your Sun Drop, watch a football game, and have a good time. There's nothing like high school football. So until next week, this is Ronnie Gallagher for another pregame show. See you next week.